Good morning, everybody. It's time for Learning with Little Tweet. So we're on Thursday, April 23rd, and we're working on day 17 lessons. This is our reading and word work portion. So let me show you what we need. All right, you will need your terrific Tree Houses book. You will also need the treehouse that you drew yesterday. I did go ahead and do a little sketch. I didn't color mine in, but I did do a little sketch, but you're going to add some details to that today. So you'll need your treehouse from yesterday. You will also need this paper where we found the word list. We're not doing anything with the word list. So it says days 16 through 20. So we're not doing anything with the word list, but we are going to be using our decodable text right here. Now, if you have your decodable text with you, the one we're working on today is called Chip Can't Nap. So you can go ahead and pull that, okay, if you'd like to have the little book in front of you too. But the words are right here. Okay, so I think, pencil. I always forget this part. Pencil and crayons. You always need those. But I think that's all you need. So go ahead and pause the video and get your materials.
Gardeners. Today, your learning target is, I can discuss how settings in a story are the same and different and sketch my ideas in my journal. Now you read it with me. I can discuss how settings in a story are the same and different and sketch my ideas in my journal. Today you will compare and contrast the tree houses in Terrific Tree Houses. You will need Terrific Tree Houses, your Enjoying Trees journal, and a pencil. You will need the same page from your journal as you started yesterday. First, let's reread Terrific Tree Houses. Terrific Tree Houses, written by Anthony Coren. Tree houses are little houses built up in trees. Many tree houses are simple, but some are terrific. This terrific tree house wraps up and around a tree. This terrific tree house is covered with mirrors. This terrific tree house is shaped like an egg. This terrific tree house looks like an eyeball. This terrific tree house looks like an alien spaceship. This terrific tree house looks as if it belongs in a fairy tale. This terrific treehouse uses tree trunks as legs. This terrific treehouse looks like a giant mushroom. This terrific treehouse is built inside the trunk of a tree. What kind of treehouse would you build? Now that we've reread the story Terrific Tree Houses, let's think. How are the tree houses in the story the same? How are they different? For example, one similarity might be that they all seem to be up high in the trees. Maybe a difference could be their shapes. What else might you be able to think about? Pause the video now and think about it.
All right, so whoopsie. So she already gave us a good idea of something that's the same, that all of the tree houses are in trees and most of them are up off of the ground, but not that last one, not the one that was in the tree. And then definitely a big difference is they're all kind of different shapes and styles and have different details that make them unique.
Now let's talk about it. How are trees important in the story? How do you know? So think about the tree houses and how the trees are so important to the tree houses. If you need to look back in the texts to remember, you can do that too. Pause the video and talk.
Okay, so how are the trees important in the story? Think about that. Put your finger on your nose when you have an idea. Do you have an idea, little tweet? I'll put my finger on your beak. I think that trees are important in the story because if the trees were not there, the tree houses would just fall on the ground. There would be nothing to hold them up. The trees hold up the tree houses. What do you think? And it says, how do you know? I can see in the story that the trees are supporting and holding up the tree houses, right? I wonder if you had a different idea.
About it. Now, write about it. Add details to the model treehouse you sketched yesterday. Share your writing with a family member or friend when you finish. For example, if you drew a treehouse that was shaped like a circle, maybe you could add some windows or a really fancy door. Think about it and then write about it by adding details to your sketch. Thank you, boys and girls.
All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So now you need the treehouse that you sketched yesterday, and a sketch is just a drawing, and it's not like your final drawing, just you're kind of drawing out some ideas and you might change them. So yesterday I sketched out just this really basic treehouse. I actually didn't make it too crazy. I made it just look like a house because that's what I could think of at that point. Now you guys are going to take what you drew yesterday and add some details to it to try to make it more interesting. So what I'm noticing about my treehouse is there's no way for the people to get up there, and it's really hard to just like climb the trunk of a tree. And if you look at the pictures here, all of these tree houses seem to have some sort of staircase or a ladder or bridge. You see this little bridge right here? Because people need to be able to get up into the tree house. So I think I'm going to do maybe a staircase or like a ladder, kind of like this. I don't know why I made it bendy, but just trying to make it more interesting. Okay. And then maybe I can put like a big fence up here so that once you're up there, you're kind of safe to hang out. Maybe I'll add some like flower pots with some flowers in them. Definitely need some sort of doorknob. Maybe I can add some details to my roof. Whoa, it's hard to draw with one hand and not hold the paper. So I don't know exactly what else I'm going to add, but notice that I'm just trying to make my picture a little bit more interesting. Maybe I'll add some curtains up in the windows, add some details. All right, so now what you guys are going to do is you're going to do that same thing with your treehouse and think about what you can add to make it more unique, and interesting. So now you are going to pause the video and go ahead and add details to your treehouse. Okay, everybody, so take that treehouse that you just added to and put that aside because we're going to be using those again, I think, or at least showing your teacher your excellent work. So now what we're going to need for word work is either your decodable Chip Can't Nap or the paper that has the text on it. See, it says Chip Can't Nap right here. So I'm going to go ahead and read this little story for you. And I'm just going to read it right out of the decodable. Hopefully I can do it with one hand. Chip can't nap. Oh my, why is he in a hat? That is silly. Okay, oh goodness, guys, this might be tricky. All right, here we go. Chip has a bed by the shop. Thud, bash. Oh, I guess that's not a hat. Is that his bed? That is very strange. Thud and bash are both like words that describe loud noises. And look at the expression on his face. The cab will not hush. Chip cannot nap. Chip will dash to the van. There's a lot of tricky words in here, like dash and hush. But if you look closely at those words, they're really not that tricky. Like the word hush is and then the sh digraph, which says sh, sh, hush. And dash is ash, dash. It also has sh. Chip will dash to the van. I wonder why he's running to the van. The van is shut. Will Chip get a nap? Oh, I guess we'll never know. Oh no, we won't know if Chip's gonna get that nap. Okay guys, so what you're going to do now before we move on to our word work is you're going to read this text on your own, either your decodable book if you have that, or right here. Okay, so what I'd like for you to do is you're going to pause the video in just a minute and take some time to try to read this on your own. And remember, if you get stuck on a word, look for sounds that you know, try to chop it up. And it's always a good idea too to kind of, once you figure the word out, reread that whole sentence so that it will make sense. Okay, so Chip can't nap. You're gonna go ahead and pause the video and practice reading your decodable. All right, friends, so the next part of your lesson is to try to find these sight words in our little book, Chip Can't Nap. So the words we're looking for are has, a, by, the, to, is, will. And this is where you need your crayons. I'm going to write on my paper and not circle the words in my book because I like keeping all the words nice and clear in my book. Although you can write in your book if you have it, and I will show you in a minute how to do that. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to look for the word has in my little story. Let's see, Chip has a bed by the shop. So I'm going to circle or highlight the word has. Now let me see if there are any other. Nope, has is only in there one time. Now the next one I'm looking for is a. That should not be too tricky. I want to pick a new color, and every time I see a, I'm going to highlight it or circle it. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's only in there twice. All right, you guys are going to keep going with that. And remember, every time you're finding a new word, you can switch colors. So you're going to circle all those words in your story. And then I'm going to show you one more thing you can do if you want. So these books actually are for you to keep. I'm not sure if all kindergartners have these. I know my class has them. And you guys can keep them. And in the back, there's some blank pages. You can actually practice writing these sight words too. So I have a page for has, I wrote that in there. A page for a, and you can just like practice your best book spelling and teacher handwriting for that whole page. By, the, to, is, and will. Now I wrote them in pencil, and I definitely would recommend writing them in pencil a couple times, but then like down here, if you want to write them with rainbow writing, you can do that. You all can be creative with how you practice these words. Now you don't have to do this part, but this is just an extra little thing you can do if you feel like you want to really glue those words into your brain and write in your little book. Okay guys, it is time to pause the video and get to work. Actually, you know what you all should do? This time, pause the video on the words, so that you can keep them up and see which words you're supposed to find. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video.